has promised, He will never fail. I will follow Him. He has promised me, He will never fail me. He said maintain your standing position. Psalm 137. Verse number 1. Please hold on to that, because this week is a very great week for you. By the rivers of Babylon, this is not where I'm supposed to be, but I found myself there. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yeah, because that's not where we had planned to be. We see ourselves weeping. When we remembered where we are supposed to be, Zion, verse 2. I don't know who I'm talking to here. In verse 2, the Bible continued. We hung our harps upon the willows. It is a harp. It's an instrument of music. Because of where we found ourselves, we couldn't play the kind of song we are used to. For there, they that carried us away captive required of us a song. Those who don't know where we are coming from and where we are supposed to be. Those who don't know that our Father which above all that we may prosper and be in health, even our soul prospereth. They wonder why we are not singing the way we are supposed to sing. And so they required of us a song. And they that wasted us, they that impoverished us, they that are sitting on us, require of us a might. And they said to us, sing us one of the songs of Zion. Pastor, you don't know my story. I am weeping because I know what God has promised me. He told me I'm going to the height of Zion, but look at me, found by the rivers of Babylon. Verse 4. And the manama shakabado shada lekusa inamana. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Verse 5. How? Pastor, the song you're asking me to sing, I don't know where to start. My song was supposed to be everything na double, but how can I sing it when everything na nothing? You're asking me to sing, I can see everything turning around, but nothing is turning around. You're asking me to say, I never know you will honor me this way, but there is nothing honorable around me. But we are not angry. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her ability to play music. verse 6. And if Almighty, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth, if I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Psalm 40, stay with me from this one. Lendebede zupranuzi paradash, zingebede shipra iskitali zadash, emanuna mama zakadaya. Psalm chapter 40 verses 1. To the chief musician, the Psalm of David, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. Verse 2, we are reading to verses number 4. He brought me up also out of an horrible pit and out of the miry clay, and he set my feet upon the rock and established my going on that rock. I am not on a slippery path. Verses number 3, everybody, he has put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our God. Many shall see it and fear and shall trust in the Lord. Lift your hands, I want to preach. Mighty Father, anoint my lips of clay. Use me to proclaim liberty to the captives. Use me to proclaim restoration to the right, to proclaim a new season to those who have waited by the rivers of Babylon. Help me, O God, to announce the day of release and jubilee from the lost song in a strange land. I pray that everyone under the sound of my Jesus, in the name of Jesus. Please permit me to use the 10 minutes to talk to you. Always interested in those who wait for him. God never abandoned those who refuse to move away from him in the days of difficulty. God is ever attracted to people who, in spite of what they are going through, refuse to leave God. God is ever excited to do something great to those, even though they were in the horrible pits, refuse to change their testimony. They are like Mary and Martha, whose brother Lazarus died. And when Jesus came after 4 days, they simply said to him, "We're not angry with you, but we know that if you were here, our brother would have not died." There are people who, if they were to be Mary and Martha, and Jesus had failed to show up to stop their brother Lazarus from dying, when Jesus showed up, they wouldn't fall down and worship. Lazarus had been dead and buried for 4 days, but when Mary saw Jesus, the Bible says he fell down in worship. It means, even though my brother died, you are still my God. Even though the prayers I made seems not to be answered, you are still my God. Even though the miracle baby I have waited for hasn't come, you are still my God. Even though the serious prayers and the requests I made, I am yet to see the answer, but you are still my God. And when Jesus eventually showed up, they said to him, "The matter is beyond redemption. There is nothing that can be done." But Jesus said, "No, there is no length and no mile that God will not go for the man who refused to quit even in the most difficult time. He said, where do you bury him? And they says, that's the problem, sir. He's been dead for 4 days. Jesus said, let's go. And then Jesus was weeping. And the people said, see how he loved him. He would have prevented him from dying. But Jesus said, there is something about God. God does not play with those who, in spite of finding themselves by the rivers of Babylon, will still say, if I forget Jerusalem, let my right hand forget his cunning. God does not play with people who still say in the most difficult time, if a man dies, shall he live again? All the days of my appointed time will I wait until my change come. God does not play with people who know that they that wait upon the Lord shall have their strength renewed like that of an eagle. And so Jesus said, take away the stone. They said, by now he's thinking. Jesus said, but I told you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God. Lazarus came back to life. And I want to announce to somebody here, you thought your Lazarus is dead and buried. But I have good news. If you are a man will touch heaven today, resurrection and life, we visit the grave where Lazarus has been buried. And even though everybody has concluded on your own Lazarus, your Lazarus is coming back to life. I speak to somebody who says, I have been forgotten. I prophesy. Even though your matter has been erased, those that forgot you today shall suddenly be reminded of you. I have come with a prophetic word for somebody. You submitted a tender, you submitted a file, you submitted an application, you submitted a CV, and it's been more than 4 years. And as far as you are concerned, that Lazarus is been dead. But I have good news for you, because you refused to abandon or turn away from God. You kept standing even though you were in a horrible pit. You kept standing even though you were a miry clay. You kept standing even though Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. Hear me, if you will stand up and say amen, this month Lazarus is coming back. You may take your seat and allow me to conclude. And so the man said, by the rivers of Babylon. That's not where we wanted to be. That's not where God has promised us. We sat down there and we began to weep when we remember the promise of God. We began to weep when we remember Zion. Zion is our expectation, but the rivers of Babylon is our reality. That's where we find ourselves. With all my beauty, no man want to marry me, but I have believed that I will get married to a good man. When I came to South Africa, when I came to Johannesburg, I came with a prophecy over my life that God will make me a king in Johannesburg. My pastor told me that life will be better for me. I left Eastern Cape, I left Bethlehem, I left Limpopo, and I came here. But I find myself by the riverside of Babylon. My husband told me that things are going to be better, but here am I in a horrible pit and in a miry clay. And the psalmist said, I waited patiently for God. I knew that Zion is my destination, but here I am by the riverside of Babylon. I knew that prosperity is my destination, but here I'm not able to even eat 1 meal in a day. I knew I should be in my husband's house, but here I'm still struggling as a single lady. I knew I should be married now, but here am I struggling as a single man. I knew by now I should have built my house, but here am I struggling and squatting with a friend. I waited patiently Some of my friends abandoned God and I watched their life change. I was envious at the prosperity of the foolish, and I began to wonder that there is no pain in their death. I began to wonder, they're not in trouble like every other person. I know these guys are cultic men, womanizers and killers. I know them, but their life seems to be better. Their light shine the brightest. I'm waiting on God. I waited patiently, and as I was waiting, I was in pain, and I couldn't sing the song I have in my mind, because how can I sing the Lord's song in a strange land? I know the right song, but I am in a wrong situation. I could have said, I never know you, we honor me this way, but there is nothing honorable about my life. I know to say favor is my name, but there is nothing favorable around me. I want to say I can see everything turning around, but it is my eyes that are turning me. Nothing is turning around. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? But I have good news for you today. Because you waited, because you refused to give up, because you refused to quit, even though where you were was uncomfortable, even though where you are now is a bundle of miry clay and horrible pit with dangerous ants, in the name that is above every name, I have been sent by your Father to announce to you, rise up, shine, for your light has come, your waiting period has expired. I'm not talking to everybody. Some of you are already in Zion. I'm talking to those who are by the riverside of Babylon. I'm not talking to some of you, because some of you are in your promised land. I'm talking to those who are in the horrible pit, who are in the miry clay. David said, he brought me out of the pit. He brought me out of the miry clay. He set my feet upon the rock. He established my going, and before I could look around, he put a song in my mouth, but it's not an old song. It is not a known song. It is a new song. There is somebody here as is about to change your story. You will not sing the Sichino song because it is an old song. You will not sing a Basi song because it's an old song. The song you will sing will not come from your head, it will come from your mouth. We have never had it, but we will hear it. Hear me, you are seizing a child. You can't be sitting down when your season has changed. Hear me loud and clear. You thought you have been forgotten. I tell you, heaven never forgets. You are wondering, when will my story change? Hear me. Some of us, we are in the examination room, and everything about us is about the invigilators that are managing to prevent us from shooting. But I've got good news for you. Your papers are no longer in the hall. Your papers are before the marker. And can I tell you who is the marker? The marker is not an enemy. The marker is not your pastor. The marker is the Lord of hosts. Hear me loud and clear. If your father is the principal, you are not permitted to repeat class. Hear me loud and clear. Your new song is called. You will no longer stay by the rivers of Babylon. You are moving over to River Jordan. are people that gathered around Mary and Martha. Can I tell you something? Your sympathizers shall soon be your party guests. Amen. You didn't hear me? They came to say sorry. That's why they are hanging around you. There are people that never go where there is celebration. They only go where there is story of sorrow, because they enjoy saying sorry. You didn't hear what I said? They don't like saying congratulations. So you won't see them in a wedding party. You won't see them in a naming party. You won't see them in housewarming. They are expert in burial because they are anointed to say sorry. They will only like your page when you pay something evil. If you put on Facebook, God has blessed me, they will look, but they will never like. But post in your Facebook, so life can be very difficult. They will come there and tell you, my brother, don't worry, God will remember you. They always comfort, they don't celebrate. They came to the house of Mary and Martha, and don't worry, everything will be fine. And then they said to themselves, when they said they had Jesus, how come they are still here? They said God is their helper. How come they are still helpless? They said their story will change, but the story is getting longer. Well, let's say to them, sorry. Sorry, Mary. Sorry, Martha. Sorry. What about Jesus? Will you come? I don't think he will come. You will stop your brother, but don't worry. That's what we're saying. Don't go too close to Jesus. Why? They were mocking and pretending to be comforting. The man of Calvary, who never forget those who wait, he told his friends, do you know somebody has been waiting for us? Let us go, so that their waiting will not be in vain. Let us go, because the season has to change. Remember, times and seasons are not in the sun. It is not the sun that decides time. It is not the moon that decides the season. God can stop the sun from rising. God can stop the moon from setting, because the seasons and the times are in the hand of God. And they said, by now he's smelling. He said, don't worry, I had the mockery of those that mocked. I had the laughter of those that laughed. I had the words of those who said, but they say God is their helper. Where is their God? He said, but I will show up at the right time, and I will make sure you don't sing the Chichimo song. Who am I talking about? I'll make sure you don't sing part 2 about the song. I'll put a new song in your mouth. And then he came and brought Lazarus back to life. Mama, you know what I love about the story? The same people that gathers as mourners, pretenders. We had what happened. Sorry, we saw what you are going through. Sorry. Suddenly, the reason for mourning has been corrected. You are living where you are living now because you are mourning. You are in the situation where you are now because you are mourning. But I have come to announce to you that the mourning period is coming to an end today. I don't know who I'm talking to now. I don't know who I'm talking to. I said the mourning period is coming to an end today. I prophesy to you, bro Joel, the mourning period is coming to an end. Who am I talking to? I'm not talking to everybody, because some people are laughing, some are mourning. My message today is for mourners. Hear me, the mourning season is coming to an end. Please keep standing. I waited patiently. And Mama, They came to more. There were about 5,000. And then Jesus said, take away the stone. And they went to him, please don't do that. The man doesn't understand. Tell him the true state of things. He is talking something beyond the ordinary. Sir, but he's smelling. I know. But remove the stone. Because the morning period, as they take away the stone, Father, they have been waiting. And nobody waits upon the Lord and is disappointed. Lazarus, your sister's thought is over. Come out. Mourners turn to party guests. Jesus turned to Mary and Martha. Lose him and let him go. Prepare food. You see that drink we were supposed to do for burial? Bring all of them out. It will no longer be for funeral. It will be to celebration. But I said, I want to finish. People who are coming late to the